סנורמה תומכת וחושבת שלסוכן הנסיעות יש תפקיד מאוד מאוד חשוב בענף הזה, בטח ובטח בתיירות נישתית כמו קרוזים, ואנחנו עוסקים רבות בהדרכה ובלימוד של סוכני נסיעות בתחום הזה. אנחנו גדלים בעיקר ב4-5 שנים האחרונות בסדר גודל של בין 10-30% בשנה. שנה שעברה גדלנו מעל 15%. והגידול, אני יכול כבר לומר לכם, ממשיך גם היום. שתי סיבות העיקריות לגידול הזה, זה אחת, ניפוץ סטיגמה של מחיר. פעם חשבו שקרוזים זה יקר, קרוזים זה ממש לא יקר, זה החופשה, זה ה-best value for money שאפשר להשיג. אנחנו מוכרים קרוזים שמתחילים בפחות מ$100 ליום. והדבר השני שהשתנה בין היתר בגלל הסעיף הראשון זה הנושא של הגיל. הגיל הממוצע ברויאל קריביאן למשל הוא 35 היום. אנחנו מקבלים הזמנות של כמויות של אנשים, זאת אומרת שמשפחה, סבא נוסע עם הילדים, עם הנכדים. ולמה? כי לנו יש, לשמחתי והלם בק תתייחס לזה קצת, לנו יש את האוניות ביפר הכי גדולות בעולם והכי חדשניות בעולם. אין אף חברה שיש לה בתוך האוניות את הקומפוננטים שיש באוניות של רויאל קריביאן. לאף אחת מהם אין מגרש הרחקה על קרח, מדרחוב ועוד כל מיני דברים שעושים את זה למשהו אחר לגמרי והופך את האונייה לדסטיניישן.
About 10 days ago we had our full-year earnings report for Q4 of 2012 and obviously that encompassed all of 2012. For the full year our net yields increased 3%. Our costs increased 4%, and our net income was slightly down on 2011 on a two-year comparison of just over $432 million. The key point to notice here is that actually our guidance was slightly off, but that was impacted because of Superstorm Sandy. If you remember, that was that terrible hurricane that came through the Caribbean and hit the US. But that was offset by some better yields that we hadn't anticipated for the year. Also, if you remember or if you're aware, in our portfolio of cruise lines, we have our 3 global cruise lines, which you all know, and then we also have 3 national brands. So we have Pullmantur, which is a company that is based out of Spain, focuses on the Spanish-speaking markets, and then we have also TUI Cruises, which is dedicated to the German market, and we also have Croisière de France, which is dedicated to the French market. We bought Pullmantur in 2007, and as our chairman puts it, we bought it about an hour and a half before the peak of the market. We bought it at a very elevated cost. So this is effectively a write-down here of saying that actually we will never get this benefit that we expected at the time that we purchased it. So effectively we had a net income of just over $18 million. Thanks, Udi. So moving into 2013, again this is our corporate forecast. We're expecting our guidance to be our guidance for net yields anything between 2 to 4%, with our costs in the range of 2%, 2 to 3%. One of the things to bear in mind with our costs is we're putting in a high level of investment into some long-term strategic projects. So investing in our IT, in our reservation system, in various very important projects for us. And so as you know, anything that involves IT infrastructure tends to have quite a high cost. So this is also going into our costs here. So we're expecting our earnings to be in a range of $2.3, so $2.30. Corporately, where we are for 2013, we are slightly lower in Q4 of 2012 than we expected, but we're seeing what we call the wave. In the US, this is this period of the year when really about 40 to 50% of the bookings for the year come in within this first 2 to 3 months of the year. So the wave season is critical for the whole cruise industry, not just us, but it's a very important time. And we're very happy to see, though, that we've had a very good wave season already. We're still in it, but we're having a very good start to the year. So we're expecting 2013 to be a good, positive year for us. This is really the big news, and again, for those of you who are close to the cruise industry will know that a couple of years ago we announced a new build program for Royal Caribbean International under the title of Project Sunshine. Shrouded in secrecy, no news about what the ships were going to be like or anything, and still no news. I still can't tell you anything at all about the ships, but we've got their names now. So on the 5th of February, we had the ceremony in Papenburg in Germany to do the steel cutting. As you know, there's all these maritime traditions, and this is always something that's very important and noteworthy. So we started the steel cutting, so we start the building of the ship effectively. And at the same time, we announced the names of the vessels. So the first ship is going to be called Quantum of the Seas, and the second is going to be called Anthem. Right, we're now going to move into celebrity cruises. So the sister brand to Royal Caribbean. The pictures we've got here are of our Solstice class vessels, which again, I think several of you were lucky enough, or I consider yourselves lucky, to be on Celebrity Reflection at the end of last year. She was the last ship in the five class new build that we had for celebrity cruises. And I mean, you can't say that she's the best, but usually what happens when you've got, you know, a series of ships being built, the last one gets the benefit of all of the learnings from the previous ships. And so Reflection is really quite spectacular. Now, we're moving on to the secret of our company. Azamara Club Cruises. We've talked about Oasis with 6,500 guests, 220,000 tons. The Azamara Journey and the Azamara Quest are 30,000 tons. The guest count is 684. It's a complete contrast. For example, I was on Azamara Quest at the end of last year, and we sailed up the river to Seville. Now, when you see on an itinerary that you're going to Seville, usually that means you go to Cadiz, and then you take a coach. No, we sailed up the river. We moored in the centre of Seville. You get off the ship and you're there. It doesn't get any better than that. In St. Petersburg, again, if any of you have been to St. Petersburg on a cruise ship, if you're in the cruise port, you're kind of miles away from the city. Azamara comes right up the river, and is there in the heart of the city again. So this is the plus. So the focus of Azamara is destination immersion, also overnights. We stay longer in the ports. So we'll do, in St. Petersburg, we won't just stay one night, we'll stay 2, even 3 nights. So you really get the chance to see the city. That's it, in a little sort of few slides what's going on.